Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? It's wonderful to be here with you. My name's Linda. I'm a trauma recovery coach, and I come and share information with you so that you can either use it yourself, you can take it to your therapist or your trauma coach and gain strategies and structure for your day-to-day life to help you in your recovery to remission journey. And it's highly effective because I include the latest in science, the neurobiology, and that makes it all come together. Now, this morning I want to talk to you about the perils of the isolation trigger, because unless we're aware of it, what happens is we don't even realise that we're isolating ourselves. So when we're younger and we've been through childhood trauma, this definitely does happen. It develops in us. There's a couple of things that will make this more profound. So one of the things is that we've been told that we have to keep it secret. Okay? So whatever was happening inside the family home, we have to keep it secret. Now, as a child, we don't understand in our minds how to differentiate between keeping what's happening secret to actually keeping everything secret. So we go out into our day-to-day life, and a lot of the time we feel like we have to keep us secret as well. So we don't have normal expressions of communication. We don't get to experience normal expressions of interaction. Okay, so I know for me, one of the things that stands out in my mind as a kid is when I was in primary school, my best friend came up to me and said, "Oh, look, I'm sorry, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. I'm going to go and hang out with those girls." And I just went, okay. Like, normal reaction from a primary school girl would be tears and devastation. I was just like, okay, I looked around for the next person to play with. And so you can kind of understand why people didn't necessarily faze me at that point in time, because for me, I had to keep everything internal. There was no conversation. I certainly wouldn't have been jumping on any social media at that stage, not that we had that back then, and I wouldn't have been announcing to the world, oh, my friend just dumped me or anything. I was like, okay. So isolation impacts our social cues as well. Now, what we need to look at in our day-to-day life as adults is that we do have a fundamental need, so a deep, wired into us need, it's part of our survival mechanism to interact with other people. So if you haven't been interacting with other people for a week, all right, and I don't just mean on Facebook, I mean getting out in the world around you and even just saying g'day to the checkout person. If you're not getting out and having that interaction, then you need to. And this happens a lot during times of stress, because we tend to think, once I'm through the stress, then I'll go and connect with other people. No, it's connecting. We have to be willing to rewire ourselves and say, no, that's not how this happens. I need to be able to go and connect with other people, and then that helps the stress, all right? That helps alleviate the burden, helps me gain a greater, a deeper, wider. No, I'm not going to break out into song. Reminded me of an old song. And but anyhow, back on track. We have to change that perception around too. If I go and connect with other people, then the stress that's overburdening me at the moment, so it's pressing down and I can't see clearly, I can't see a solution or my one next step forward, then I need to be able to go, right, go out, connect with some people. Now here's why. Morning. Before, what happens is, in our neurobiology, so remember that a lot of it starts with our senses. Now, our sight hooks straight back into the primitive part of our brain where our triggers happen as well. So if we go out and we're looking around, seeing other people, it actually is going back into the primitive part of our brain. And that's where all of this will be wired in as well. Not all of it, but a significant part. So I've been learning about how we can use our sight to better overcome triggers, but also how it helps us impact socially. Now, a lot of our social learning is done by standing back and observing others. It may not come naturally. It certainly doesn't come naturally to me. And that's okay, because we can learn. All right? Now, if we continue to do it alone, if we continue to believe that we're stressed and the isolation trigger's gone off, like, keep it secret, keep it safe, plus if I'm on my own I can do things better, it actually increases the stress, all right? And it increases the likelihood of more anxiety, more depression. So those triggers go off. It's even though anxiety and depression, the triggers can make us feel like we need to be alone to solve these situations, we have to be willing to say, no, I want to rewire myself back to my internal navigation chart, which is, when I'm stressed, I go and talk to somebody. When I can't work things out on my own, I go and talk to somebody. And I did this recently as well. And I have been this person that, okay, I'll work it out. No matter what, I'll work it out. And it's not healthy. And I actually went and spoke to another couple about something that happened in my life and said, am I looking at this the wrong way? I need you to tell me, is it wrong to want someone in my life who doesn't tell lies? And they're like, no. And it's, even though it may seem simple, just checking in with other people that we're on track even, it starts to build connections where we know that we can learn to trust again. Childhood abuse takes away from us the ability to trust, because as a child, the people that we're supposed to be able to trust, we couldn't. So it's another aspect of complex trauma where we have to be willing to say, I'm going to learn how to trust again, right? I'm fortunate that I've been in the community I've in for some years now, and I've walked the hardest parts of my life with that community. But I want to encourage you to start. Yes, you're hearing about mine years later, but I couldn't tell you about it years before because I couldn't walk, couldn't talk, needed a full-time carer. So I'm saying to you that even in our worst points, there are people who walk through the storm with us without expectations that we are anything but ourselves, all right? Isolation will hinder our ability to cope. We're not meant to do life on our own. We're not designed for it, okay? We are meant to do life together. And look, if there's one thing I'll thank my kids for, it's when they got old enough, they started saying to me, hang on, Mum, every time we've got a problem, you make us sit down and talk it through, like communicate, work it out. Let's see what we can do. No problem's too big that we can't find a solution. You know what it's like when we're parents. We will walk on water for our kids. And they said to me, just in their late teens, early 20s, Mum, you can't do that. You can't. We can see that you are trying to work things out yourself, but you always taught us to talk. So we need you to talk to us so that you can have solutions as well. Good morning, Leslie. Yeah, g'day. So it's good when we raise our kids and they actually start coming to us and saying, hey, they're not wanting to take our problems on. They're wanting to walk with us through that as well. And if we don't have kids, I will guarantee you that there are people willing to walk with you through you regaining structure with you regaining, well, learning new strategies, having strategies formulated specifically for you, all right? Abuse in childhood leaves us with the belief that we will be rejected, and that is what keeps us being the person that we feel like we've got a sign on our forehead that says you can talk to me, and you will find, as I did, that you go out in public and people will just feel comfortable talking to you because there's this real sense that they understand that you've been into the hardest places and they know that you are wise and they can just sit and talk because you have a compassionate heart, all right? But that compassionate heart needs to be there for you too, all right? And we can all go, yep, we've got to do that. Good afternoon, Diana. Isolating, if we're isolating, it will cause us to have poor sleep. Oh my goodness. And we can all go, yep, we've had poor sleep because we keep going over and over and over the worry, all right? Or we don't look at it as worry, we're going, no, I'm trying to find a solution to this problem. But remember, when we've been triggered, our prefrontal cortex isn't connected to the amygdala, to the whole limbic system, and so we can't put order into the emotions. So if that's happening, then reach out to your community, reach out to your therapist and say, hey, I've been triggered, I need strategies, I need structure. And we do need to be the ones that say this to our therapist or coach if they're not giving that to us, because it's not, we're the first generation that's had all the science and all the personal dynamics coming together so that we can't run around going, oh, no one understands. We have to be willing to educate and say, I don't need you to solve it, but I would really appreciate it if you could walk with me. Let's walk through this together and see if I can come up with another solution. Because remember, when we've been triggered as well, our perception is offline. We don't have access to it from the neurobiology. And so we need that input of trusted people. And I have done a video on recognising safe people too. So if you're unsure of what a safe person looks like, I will go and find the link for it afterwards and put it in the comments down below so that you can get a really good idea of what safe people are like. And Cloud and Townsend also have a book out called Safe People, and they are brilliant at putting everything into easy to understand and why I need this in place situations as well, and recognising people that are unsafe and don't have our best interests at heart. All right, because remember, we've got to be able to trust. And for a lot of people, the first safe place, the first place they can trust, the first place that they can learn to open up is with their therapist or trauma coach, because they know that they're understood exactly what's going on for them. And also, without isolating, without extra external stimuli, so without going out, can have us believing that there is no hope, and it's not the truth. We need, neurologically speaking, we need to get out of our routine, and we need to go outside, and we need to have all of our senses engaged because of our brain wiring. We want to rewire it. Okay, so we want to go out and stretch ourselves and do something different. For some people, that's going to look like, I've just made it out my front door. And one of my older clients, we did that. It was exciting through Google Hangouts. She's in America. And we were able to get her outside her front door. Now her life is totally different to it was then. But for other people, you may need to stretch yourself and go and do something different. So when I was reading about this and the neurological impact on us, I went, oh my goodness, I need to change up my routine. So I've put in step places where I'm going to, anyhow, I'll keep it a secret for the moment. because I'm still a bit nervous, but I want to go out and start talking to other women and being able, anyhow, when it happens, I'll let you know. I've just got to pull one. I'm putting in processes into steps, the process of what I want to do to change it up, to increase the stimuli that goes in. Because what happens is when we increase the stimulation, right, the inputs, we begin to have experiences where our our wiring from childhood can start to see that you're safe to move, you're safe to go out in the world, you have the experience that you're safe around people, and that you can learn to open up, right? Now, when I first started doing this, I'd go out in public and be absolutely perspiring with anxiety dripping off me, all right? But I kept going because I knew where I was going, I was safe. I didn't have the neurobiological understanding. I just know I needed to stretch myself in order that I could feel and get used to safe situations. I'd go into safe situations, be triggered, and then be standing there, perspiration pouring off me and wearing air conditioning, and someone's looking at me going, oh, why is she so hot? And I wouldn't say anything. I'd just keep talking and wipe my face. Thank goodness, past a lot of that. But it works. It does work. But make sure you're safe. Make sure that you can, when you're triggered, you can go, no, I am safe. And you can feel it, all right? And we need others to bounce ideas off. Otherwise, we keep going in. We keep imploding instead of bringing our pure essence, our love, our joy, peace, patience, everything, instead of it being able to come out and overflow into the lives of everyday people as well. And think about it like this: when we go into relationships, when we meet new people, we want to be doing it from a place where I'm full and I can share, not I'm empty and I'm trying to give and then I make myself more depleted as well. So be very gentle, very kind, very compassionate with your own heart and soul, knowing that one step at a time we can create a whole new journey for you, all right? And we can overcome the depression triggers, we can overcome the anxiety triggers, and we definitely can, after all the information today, we definitely can overcome the isolation trigger as well. And I want to encourage you to work with a professional to make this happen for you, all right? To reclaim the life that you know innately that life isn't meant to be like this, and that I'm meant to be full and I'm meant to be pouring out from my own cup, all right? I know that you can do this. I believe in you, and we can do this. We work together and make it happen. All right, I will find the video on safe people and put the link down below as a refresher, because remember, our neurobiology too, our wiring, our soft wiring, we do need to hear things a few times. Like, I often do three sessions over 5 days to really help something sink in, like not just here but sink into my whole system, and then I go on and put steps in place to experience it as well. Thanks for joining in this morning, ladies. It's wonderful to have you here. I hope this helps you take one more step. So just choose one thing where you're at today and be brave. Get your warrior on and go out and just, even if it's talking to someone you've never known, the checkout chick, and say, g'day. And say, my friend in Australia says, g'day. I will see you again tomorrow morning. Bye for now.